Okay, 2 brackets down, 2 to go. Or I should say 2 regions, but this time up is the East region. Starting off with the Duke Blue Devils. Yes, I am a fan of them too. I've been a fan of them for ever since I was a senior in high school, and that's been a long time ago. So you can't accuse me of being a bandwagon fan. And yes, I know what it's like to be. I get why people hate Duke, because I mean, there's some of the teams you can lump into that group that I don't like either. So I totally get where people are coming from. So yeah, I mean, you can lump the Duke Blue Devils in with the New York Yankees and the Lakers and Alabama football and that kind of thing, and I get it. I truly do. But that's not about it's not about that. It's about making my picks, and Duke will be taking on one of the winners of the first 4 matchups in Mount St. Mary's. Cooper Flag's playing in this game. He'll be back after his injury in the ACC tournament, but this will not be a game. I mean, let's just be honest here. Duke prevails big time. Then you got the 8-9 matchup, Mississippi State and Baylor. You got Josh Hubbard going for Mississippi State. He leads their team against Omer and VJ Edgecombe of Baylor. I think I could see this game going either way, but I picked Baylor. Scott Drew has more big game experience, I think, than Chris Jans does with Mississippi State, so I think Baylor advances here. Oregon against Liberty, the 5-12 matchup. Dana Altman just does not lose in the first round. It doesn't matter whether he's a Creighton, or in this case, Oregon. Oregon will advance here. Then you got BYU against VCU. I kind of wavered on this game. It depends on which BYU team shows up. If the team that shows up that made 18 threes against Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament, if they show up, they can beat a lot of teams. But if they're not making their threes, they can make an early exit. And I'm going to pick BYU in this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if VCU ends up winning this. But I'm picking BYU in this one anyway. Then you got, Wisconsin, the 3-14 matchup against Montana. I think Wisconsin will win this game. This shouldn't be much of a problem. Then you got St. Mary's taking on Vanderbilt. They've gotten some big wins in the SEC. I mean, they've been kind of beating up on each other this year. The SEC has been the best conference in basketball this year, which hasn't always been the case. But I think St. Mary's will prevail. Then you got Alabama against Robert Morris. It's like Mark Sears and company. I mean, when it's 1-on-5. Seriously, though. Alabama can just outscore people. I mean, they're not the greatest defensive team in the world, but they won't need to be against Robert Morris. I think Alabama advances. So then your second round matchups, it'll be Duke against Baylor. Baylor doesn't have enough to take out Cooper Flag and Tyrese Proctor and Concanoople and company, so Duke prevails. And then Oregon against Arizona, former Pac-12 matchup. I think that if Caleb Love's on, he's one of the best players in the country, and then you got the youngster Carter Bryant as well. I think Arizona prevails, and they advance to the Sweet 16. BYU against Wisconsin in the second round matchup. I think this is where BYU's luck runs out, because Wisconsin is a much better defensive team than BYU is, and like I said, if BYU's not making their threes, they can make an early exit, and I think they will in the second round. Wisconsin prevails. Then St. Mary's against Alabama. Yeah, Alabama they took their lumps like late in the season. They got hammered by Florida in the SEC semifinals. But I think Alabama will be too much here. They advance to the Sweet 16. Then you got the Sweet 16 matchups. Duke and Arizona. This is a rematch from when they played at McHale Center down in Tucson. Duke held Arizona to under 60 points in that game. The defense is clicking, and Cooper Flagg and company, they're doing their thing. I think Duke wins this game. Then you got Wisconsin and Alabama, and then once again, I think Arizona. I'm getting Arizona and Alabama mixed up here. I'm sorry, but Alabama, I think, advanced to the Elite Eight. So then you come up with the Elite Eight matchup, Duke and Alabama. This could be one of the better games of the tournament, I think. And I think Duke prevails in a close game. So Duke to the Final Four. Next up will be the Midwest region. So stay tuned for that.